They say that even the bravest of hearts can be tested when the earth itself rebels. The halls of the Celestial Emperor Cave still smell of scorched stone and blood, as Zhou Yi's desperate strike against Master Void rippled through the very air, leaving both combatants shaken and wounded. Now as the cultivators step onto the 7th floor, a world of molten fire and blackened fog stretches before them, a volcanic expanse that seems to remember an age-old calamity. Wang Lin senses the subtle traces of celestial jade and fire origin energy beneath the shattered ground, each crack whispering secrets of a past no mortal should have seen. In this crucible of flames and ancient ruin, alliances are fragile, rivalries simmer, and the next move could reshape destinies. What trials await amidst the fiery chaos? The answers begin to unfold. In recap, Renegade Immortal, Chapter 1055, Chapter 1056. In the silence of the Celestial Emperor Cave, a tension sharp enough to cut steel hung thick in the air. Master Void pivoted suddenly, his fingers weaving a complex seal, the air around him trembling with impending power. Yet before his spell could take form, the faint movement of the All-Seer's lips stopped him. A force, invisible and resolute, halted his hands mid-gesture. The room seemed to pulse, as if reality itself recoiled at the interruption. Master Void's eyes darkened, a storm of fury and disbelief rising. And then, like lightning across a tempestuous sky, Zhou Yi streaked through the searing flames. His speed was such that in the blink of an eye he landed atop Master Void's chest. The hall quaked with a deafening thunder, and Master Void expelled blood with a force that rattled the floor. Each step he took backward shattered the ground beneath him, turning it to powder with a sinister crackle. When the sword energy faded, revealing Zhou Yi in his true form, his figure trembled with fragility. Pale, almost ghost-like, he seemed drained, his body transparent, as if the very spirit within him had been poured out in that desperate strike. The attack had left its mark, wounding Master Void grievously. But Zhou Yi had paid a heavy price as well. Sliding back beside Wang Wei and Hu Juan, Zhou Yi's voice echoed in Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin, my strike could not fell him, yet I have awakened the latent wounds that plagued him before. His injuries have been worsened, ignited anew. He sank to the ground, taking from within his robes mysterious pills that shimmered like flowing spirit energy. These were no ordinary pills, but remedies forged for spirit bodies, meant to mend and restore what mortal medicine could not touch. Master Void's face had drained of colour. Despite suppressing the pain to prevent further damage, Zhou Yi's intervention forced his injuries to erupt once more, dragging down his cultivation to a perilous level. Though not yet at the cusp of Nirvana Shatterer, the chill of fear brushed his heart for the first time. He retreated further, his hand forming a seal over his chest, stabilizing himself with effort, each movement racked with fresh blood. Yet his gaze was not on Zhou Yi, nor on Wang Lin. It was fixed, unyielding, on the All-Seer. Calm, collected, the All-Seer met Master Void's fury with unshaken neutrality. "Fellow cultivator Master Void," he said, voice smooth and even, "I would only intervene if the path left you no choice." Then, turning his attention to Wang Wei and Hu Wan, a subtle smile graced his lips. "Let us set aside personal grievances for now. The next floor awaits." Ling Tianho's expression darkened, the shadow of suspicion flickering across his face. The subtle, unseen moves of the All-Seer did not escape him. Beside Master Void, he hovered silently, a silent sentinel of caution and threat. The old man atop the gourd observed, impassive, his presence signalling allegiance without utterance. Meanwhile, the girl believed to be the brilliant Void Saintess rose gracefully to Master Void's side. Her gaze, at once gentle and piercing, lingered on Wang Lin. "Fellow cultivator," she murmured softly, "let this matter end today. Once you depart, my brilliant Void realm will take no part in this conflict." Aside from the man clad in black, allegiances were clear. Wang Lin's eyes brightened, and he bowed respectfully toward Wang Wei. "I acted rashly. I will defer to your judgment." Wang Wei, though harbouring irritation from Wang Lin's earlier recklessness, nodded, seeing wisdom in restraint. His eyes scanned the All-Seer's group, and he spoke with a calm authority. "Very well. Personal grudges must be set aside. The remaining floors are fraught with danger. Once we reach the 7th floor, we shall regroup at the centre." As Wang Wei's words faded, the All-Seer and his companions nodded in agreement. Hujuan stepped forward, pressing her jade-like hand against the stone tablet. Purple light surged, the ground trembling beneath them. Cracks splintered the earth, widening until it gave way entirely, revealing a boundless expanse of starlit void. One by one, they fell into the abyss, vanishing into the unknown. Zhou Yi, still recovering, was guided by Wang Wei toward the cosmic transfer array. The 7th floor of the Celestial Emperor Cave was an alien realm, unlike anything that came before. Flames licked the sky as though the heavens themselves were on fire, a violent and untamed world. A volcano erupted at the center, shrouded in swirling black mist, spewing molten fury downward. The ground fractured into floating shards over the magma's relentless flow, and acrid smoke rose from every crevice, suffocating and potent. As the cultivators landed, Wang Lin's gaze swept the strange domain. Frowning in immediate recognition of the anomaly, the map bore no resemblance to this fiery chaos. Hujuan, roughly 1,000 feet away, shared his confusion, her eyes mirroring his. They exchanged a glance, acknowledgement passing silently between them, both aware that the cave's transformations were genuine. This flat expanse, with only the volcano as its sentinel. The 8th floor must lie within, Hujuan's voice resonated, carrying across the scorched landscape. Master Void lingered at a distance, pale under the flames, his hand pressed to his chest, fresh surges of pain flaring with every breath. A persistent sword energy restrained his healing, a cruel reminder of Zhou Yi's blow. His eyes, cold and burning with vengeance, swept the area. All-seer Wang Lin, and that sword spirit, I shall repay this 100-fold. He vowed silently, anger and strategy warring within. A chilling realization struck him. Even the Celestial Emperor Cave itself seemed to conspire against him, yet he forced his wrath into submission. My drop in cultivation, it changes my temper. I must not be easily enraged, he breathed, controlling the storm within. Wang Wei and Hujuan became rays of light, racing toward the volcano's heart. The All-Seer and his allies followed, converging with lethal precision. Master Void's gaze locked onto Wang Lin, eyes sharp as a blade, and he surged after them. Wang Lin, careful not to provoke the old monsters, advanced slowly, observing, measuring. The brilliant Void Saintess, stationary, watched him, waiting for some unspoken signal. He skirted around her, indifferent to the subtle tension, her patience exhausted. She finally followed the group toward the volcano. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with quiet triumph. Among the floating cracks he discerned fragments of celestial jade, remnants of a long-forgotten floor, evidence of ancient power hidden beneath the fiery ruin. Standing at the volcano's base, he closed his eyes, extending his divine sense. Moments passed, then his eyes snapped open, certainty blazing within them. The volcano had been positioned here intentionally, a remnant of unfathomable design. The closer he approached, the more details confirmed this. Rocks unlike the surrounding ground, magma saturated with untamed fire element, origin energy pulsating in rhythm with his own power. He plunged his right hand into the molten fissure. Heat radiated not as pain, but as exhilarating vitality, coursing through his origin energy, spinning in vortices of sheer force. The fire essence answered him, drawn into his body like a loyal disciple. I have mastered the first 3 of Baifan's 6 spells, he murmured to himself, but the final 3 contain the essence itself. The first of them, Mountain Crumbles, resembles a volcanic fury. It will awaken when the time comes. Beside him, the man in black mirrored his actions, hand in magma, eyes flickering with a mixture of fear and desire. Contemplation, ambition, and primal fire intertwined as he pondered. Vermilion bird, if I devour its power, will my flame dragon awaken again? The air around them shivered with promise, danger, and the raw, untamed energy of the Celestial Emperor Cave. Each heartbeat, each breath, drew them closer to a legendary confrontation where fire and will would clash with destiny itself. The air above the 7th floor of the Celestial Emperor Cave shimmered with a ferocity that could melt steel and warp the senses. Here, fire origin energy was thick as blood, each breath of heat carrying the raw power of creation itself. Within the volcanic veins, magma roared like a living beast, and Wang Lin could feel it seeping into him, winding around his origin soul like a river of molten gold, nourishing it, strengthening it, and awakening a profound resonance with fire itself. A soothing warmth spread through him, more intoxicating than any elixir he had ever consumed. Though his body bore the lingering scars of countless battles, and even the pills from the 6th floor had only patched the surface, now, wrapped in the embrace of pure fire origin energy, his injuries began to mend. Slowly, painstakingly, yet with a promise that gave his heart hope. He drew in a breath that tasted of magma and raw energy, feeling a faint thrill. This was the sensation of life returning to a body tempered by trials. Yet the volcano was no place to linger. Most cultivators had already vanished into its searing depths, leaving him momentarily alone. During the month he had spent in recovery, Wang Lin had questioned Wang Wei about curing the 7th heaven poison, but the answers were hollow. Wang Wei and Hu Juan, even in the celestial realm, rarely faced poisons so formidable. Their knowledge was shallow, their guidance uncertain. Ultimately, the burden of hope fell elsewhere, on Celestial Emperor Qing Lin, or perhaps Qing Shuang. The path to salvation for Situ Nan's life would require the intervention of those whose mastery dwarfed his own. Time did not permit dawdling. Wang Lin exhaled, letting the fire origin energy within him surge and churn. His hand became a vessel, drawing in the volcanic essence, absorbing it with a pull that seemed to bend the flames themselves. With a sudden, precise motion, he withdrew, and like a leaf on a storm, he leapt toward the volcano's mouth. From another angle, a figure in black mirrored his ascent. Wang Lin's eyes caught the subtle movements, noting the mark etched between that man's brows, a sign of power and danger. He remained cautious, moving with the serene grace of a drifting wind rather than the haste of the desperate. The summit revealed itself in all its wrathful majesty. A cavernous mouth yawned before him, exhaling clouds of black smoke that twisted like phantom serpents. The rocks surrounding the crater glowed with molten fury, rivers of scarlet light slicing through the smoke. Heat rolled outward in waves, yet Wang Lin's presence remained undisturbed. His eyes, sharp and cold, scanned the inferno below. Within, fiery tendrils danced, and thick, smoky wisps surged like living shadows. Without hesitation, Wang Lin descended into the volcano, his form streaking like a falling star, his divine sense expanded, probing the depths. The black smoke recoiled at his approach, vanishing as though afraid to confront him. Waves of scorching heat lashed at him, yet his pores opened willingly, absorbing the energy, converting the oppressive flames into nourishment for his origin soul. His eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light as he sank deeper, the man in black following at a cautious distance, wary of provoking Wang Lin's lethal aura. The black-clad man remembered their prior encounter. Wang Lin was a tempest of ruthlessness and cunning, a soul who could manipulate pressures and powers with the precision of a master strategist. Even the formidable Master Void had found himself ensnared and humiliated under Wang Lin's guile. The thought alone caused the man in black to shiver with unease. His own absorption of fire origin energy was tame in comparison, a mere shadow against the voracious hunger of Wang Lin. To devour this power, it is madness, he muttered silently. Deeper he went, moving faster as each heat wave lent him strength. The rock walls darkened from scarlet to blood red, and black vapours hissed from jagged outcroppings. Wang Lin landed on one such jutting rock, inhaling deeply. The heat surged into him like a sea of fire, each intake transforming into essence that swirled within him. Stepping back, his face flushed, eyes blazing with inner fire, he continued to digest the molten energy, letting it weave into his being. 7 minutes passed in this consuming dance before he descended further. The man in black followed, horror etched into his expression, for the way Wang Lin devoured fire origin energy was beyond comprehension. By the time Wang Lin reached the volcano's base, he peered into the magma sea below with piercing clarity. Dark red rivers churned, bubbling and spewing waves of heat and black smoke. At the heart of this molten abyss, a palace clung stubbornly to the cliff walls, echoing the designs of the entrances on the previous 6 floors, but now sealed. On its gate, a single terrible word was scrawled in black blood: Devil. The strokes twisted like living serpents, an emblem of ancient power from the god, demon, and devil clans alike. Even Wang Lin's eyes narrowed at the recognition. The mark radiated a sealing force unlike anything mortal minds could comprehend. Outside, the familiar figures of Wang Wei, Hu Juan, and Bei Lu hovered, forming alliances in the air. Opposite them, the All-Seer and his companions readied their assaults. Ling Qianhao roared, summoning the 4 origin swords behind him to strike with relentless force. Yet the word devil shimmered, unyielding. The palace remained sealed, the black blood sigil impervious. Wang Lin, sensing no need to intervene with such masters present, settled on a nearby rock. He closed his eyes to cultivate, his body alive with vigilance. Beside him, the girl in pink defied the searing heat, snowflakes dancing around her as her rock bore frost despite the fiery winds. Time crawled forward, the man in black lingering cautiously, eyes locked on the palace. Both groups struck relentlessly. Spells collided with the heat in each other, forming a cacophony that shook the volcano's bones, sending boulders tumbling into the molten depths. The echoes resounded even beyond the volcano, muffled yet thunderous. Finally, Beilu channeled all their combined spells into a cataclysmic storm aimed at the palace. A roar erupted, shattering the air as the magma below raged violently, trembling like a captured beast. And then, with a climactic crash, the black blood word collapsed. The gate yawned open. Yet, in that instant of triumph, the air itself seemed to twist, as if the world were holding its breath for what came next.